Let's look at the Chiefs being projected by many to continue to dominate the AFC West. MVS's epic prank on Skyy Moore, looking to a very underrated reason behind the Chiefs' continued success, and much freaking more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, aka Captain Redbeard, the peak prominent professing pillaging pirate prankster in all the Red Sea, and I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs, so sub for more, like the vid, you know the freaking deal, and let's get into it, starting with this quick announcement. Tomorrow, I'm doing a celebratory live stream in honor of reaching my year-end goal of 20,000 subs before the season even started. It's pretty mind-blowing to me and my beard, and I definitely couldn't have done it without all of you. So I want to hang out, celebrate with you all that can make it tomorrow, Saturday, September 3rd, 2 p.m. Central. Mark your calendars. Let's freaking go. All right, let's start off with some AFC West champion predictions, because today the NFL dropped an article in which this group of analysts, which includes people like LaDainian Tomlinson, Kurt Warner, Lance Zierlein, among others, they voted on who they thought was going to win each division in the NFL. And if you look at the AFC West, it's a very close victory by the Chiefs, who received 12 votes, followed by the Chargers at 11. Then the Broncos and Raiders tied for third with one measly little vote each. Poor guys. And here's why Greg Rosenthal voted for the Chiefs. He said, I think the Bills, Chiefs, and Chargers have the three best rosters in the AFC. The tie between the final two teams goes to the Chiefs for the AFC West crown because they are the Chiefs, and their defense and offensive line should make up for the loss of Tyreek Hill. Well, yeah, believe it or not, Tyreek is not the sole reason why the Chiefs have been so successful, going to 4 AFC championship games and all that. So that's no surprise to me, but what is a bit surprising to me is this article that The Athletic released recently, in which 43 of their writers, editors, and national reporters ranked who they think will win each division in the NFL, similar to the article from the NFL I just covered, but we will get into the surprising part here in a moment after we look at how the votes panned out for the AFC West. 2022 people picked the Chiefs to win, which is no surprise to me that they would receive the most votes. They've won the AFC West 7 years in a row. And then 19 picked the Chargers to win the division, which is pretty similar to the NFL article, a split between the Chiefs and the Chargers, with the Chiefs barely ahead. And I don't really disagree here. I think the division is going to be a potential dogfight between the Chiefs and the Chargers. And now for the surprising part. When looking at the Broncos and the Raiders to win the division, only 2 of the 43 voted for the Let's Ride Broncos, and 0, yes, Z-E-R-O, of the 43 voted for the Chokeland Faders to win the division. And the reason why this is so funny and a bit surprising to me is because after all the offseason hype that the Raiders got, Devontae Adams being brought in, Derek Carr being overlooked and a chip on his shoulder, David Carr's horribly biased takes to give some confidence to his brother for winning 0 playoff games in 8 seasons. After all of that, even the Athletics writers who cover the Raiders don't believe the hype. How do you know that, Cole? Because 0 votes for the Raiders includes those who write for the Raiders. That is funny, and I freaking love it. You know what else I love? Food, as well as pranks. Some of you may have heard about this already, but MVS pulled quite the prank on Skyy Moore last weekend at his rookie dinner. Basically, MVS had the waiter or waitress bring out a fake bill for Skyy to pay for, and let's just say Skyy was very surprised, to say the least.
Oh my God, yo. I can't believe that, bro. Tell me why they give me this receipt, bro.
Yo, your stomach got me in.
Bro, my stomach dropped.
Yeah, no, that was the whole prank. Is that they bring out a fake bill, say your card gets declined. They brought the bill out. They ran his card twice. It got declined. He had to call his financial advisor, got on the phone with the bank, and then we brought it out. So it was he was sweating for about a good 5 minutes. That's a long 5 minutes, too. We're just looking at you and figuring out, yeah, it worked perfectly.
So MVS ended up picking up the tab after all, and it wasn't actually that much total, but still, nice one. And on the subject of MVS, since we live in a world where it is popular to put your former QB down, i.e. Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill, MVS should be an example to many, especially those two. He's been asked about Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes many times, and he's always spoken positively, highly about both of them.
I mean, they're both the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. So there's not much difference. One's just a little bit older. So.
Huh? Did you know that was possible? Yeah, buddy, I had many comments on a recent video where I covered Sammy No Hammy Watkins putting down Mahomes to elevate Rodgers, and those comments were saying stuff like, well, what did you expect Sammy Watkins to say when asked to choose between his current or former QB? Do you actually think he would put down his current? No, but you can still answer it in a way that puts down neither one of them. Crazy, right? Anyway, MVS is stoked for the regular season and can't wait to show the world how talented the receiving room here in KC really is.
Patrick is a unique talent, one-of-one guys. So his confidence level is going to always be high because he can do anything with the football. With a good group of receivers that we have, and obviously Chad back there, so I think that we have one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league, and we're confident about that.
Well, I admire your confidence and am definitely excited about seeing this new receiving core put in work this season. It's about a week away. So let's freaking go. From here, I want to talk about cap space. No cap, because as far as the Chiefs' overall cap space goes at the moment, it's a little tight. They currently only have $1.9 million in freed up cap space, which isn't much, and right now puts them at 8th from the bottom in total remaining cap space of any team in the NFL. This current figure includes dead money, the 53-man roster, players on IR, and members of the practice squad, and they recently acquired some new dead money during roster cuts, which includes what you see up here on the screen from the player transactions that happen. So what does all this mean? Well, according to Charles the GOAT Goldman of Chiefs Wire, it means the Chiefs may need to think about making some moves financially before the start of the season to free up some space for things like trades, players heading to IR, free agent signings during the season, and even practice squad elevations. And while the Chiefs may be thin on cap space, one thing they have plenty of is draft picks that are currently on the team from the last 5 draft classes, minus 2018 for the most part. But here's why I bring this up. Jason from Over the Cap released some interesting stats today on teams who have the highest number of draft picks that are still on the active roster and practice squad from the last 5 years. So that's 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, and 2022, the most recent draft class. And I found it very interesting because the Chiefs were at the very top of this list. Look at it. 73.5% of the Chiefs draft picks from the last 5 years are on the roster, which is the highest in the NFL, with only 5.9% of those picks being on another team. 11.8% are on the practice squad, and a very low 8.8% of those draft picks are now out of the league. And I went ahead and looked up all these draft picks since 2018. And of the Chiefs' 34 draft picks since then, 2018, 25 are still on the active roster. From 2018, the lone wolf is defensive tackle Derek Nottie. From 2019, everybody you see here on the screen from that draft class is on the 53-man roster right now, aside from running back Darwin Thompson, who's no longer on the team. And as far as the 2020 draft goes, everyone is still present aside from cornerback Vicarious Keys. Offensive tackle Lucas Niang is the only one not on the active roster, and that's because of his injured knee. He's on the reserve PUP list for now and is likely to return later this season, I hope. And then everyone from the 2021 draft class is currently on the 53-man roster, aside from wide receiver Cornell Powell, who just got re-signed to the practice squad this past week. And then finally, for the 2022 draft class, this is pretty freaking incredible. 9 of the 10 players drafted are on the 53-man roster, with only safety Nazi Johnson getting cut, but then re-signed to the practice squad. And this is what Brett Veach had to say in a recent presser about this year's draft picks.
Usually when you bring in a rookie class, they're all on a little bit of a different timeline in regards to can they get up to speed and can they be in a position to help this team out. It's surprising to have, I guess, such a big class and have majority, if not all of them, kind of show that they're ready to go. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done with these guys. And I mean, Steve and EB and Coach Reed would be the first ones to say that we like where we're at right now, but to get to where we need to be, there's still a lot of work ahead of us.
In Veach, we trust. So again, this is pretty incredible. If you think about it, out of 34 draft picks, 25 are on the active roster. If you don't include Niang, 24, 2 are on the practice squad, and only 7 are no longer on the team. That's nearly a 3 out of 4 success rate, aka 73.5% success rate for the active roster. And if you add the 11% of players that are on the practice squad from the last 5 years of draft classes, that's over an 85% hit on draft picks, which includes approximately 12 starters on the team. That's if Nottie and Dana start, but the rest are starting for sure. Hardman, Thornhill, Fenton, CEH, Willie Gay, Snead, Bolton, Humphrey, Trey Smith, and McDuffie. This is wildly incredible and speaks very highly of a certain individual, the Chiefs GM Brett Veach, considering these are also his first 5 years as a GM. I know his first draft class was a bit rough, but every draft after that has continued to get better. And it's also worth noting that this is with the Chiefs drafting at the back of the first round every year. And only 2 years include a first round pick, CEH in 2020, and then McDuffie and Karlaftis in this last draft that just happened. And this is why I believe the Chiefs have been able to remain so successful year in and year out. Yes, of course, they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but this is underrated, and we cannot write off Brett Veach and how well he has drafted, for the most part, if you don't include much of 2018, since he became the Chiefs GM. They've been able to draft well, plug these guys into the system they were drafted for, raise them up, and bring out the best of the majority of their draft picks. And this is a top-tier example of a stable organization with solid coaches, great leadership, and a desire for excellence from the top down, and a desire to win, to get the dub. And as a lifelong Chiefs fan, I really love to freaking see it. This is incredible. And here, I want to pass the question off to you guys like a nicely lofted ball from Mahomes to Kelsey for a touchdown. What are your thoughts on this about Brett Veach and his ability to draft players that are a great fit for the team's overall offensive and defensive schemes and keep them here for the time being? Do you believe that plays an underrated role in the team's continued success year in and year out? Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below, and let's throw tomahawk chops about it down there per usual. If you enjoyed the vid, make sure to slap that like button, leave a bearded comment or super thanks to be featured in an upcoming vid. Mark your calendars for tomorrow's live stream, 2 p.m. Central, Saturday, September 3rd, if you haven't already, and check out this video here. Boop-pew! Which is from the Scrambling Armchair, where he gives 5 thoughts on why the Chiefs signed Chris Olajuwon. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?